Welcome back to Purpose and Presence Hub. There exists a level of mental and physical strength that makes you appear absolutely invincible. Today, you're going to discover exactly how one legendary warrior achieved this impossible standard over 400 years ago, and how you can replicate his system in your own life, starting right now. Have you ever met someone who simply refuses to break? Someone who confronts every challenge without hesitation, without backing down, without negotiating with their weaknesses? While everyone else manufactures excuses to justify their failures, this person persists relentlessly. And what do people say? They got lucky. It's just genetics. They knew the right people. But here's the truth most people refuse to acknowledge. There's an extraordinarily high price to pay for this level of strength. His name was Miyamoto Musashi, a warrior in feudal Japan who won over 60 life or death duels. He began at just 13 years old and never lost a single combat. He wasn't the strongest physically, nor the fastest, but Musashi developed something nobody could break. A mind that knew absolutely no hesitation, and a body that recognized no limits. Before his death, he documented everything in his masterpiece, the Book of Five Rings. Within those pages lies the precise blueprint for transforming your mind and body into something that makes people wonder how it's even possible. But here's the critical part. Musashi's method isn't about motivation or inspiration. It's about systematic elimination. He didn't build strength by adding more. He built it by ruthlessly removing everything that interfered. Before I break down this system, subscribe to Purpose and Presence Hub right now. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Drop a comment telling me what's your biggest weakness you're ready to eliminate. Your engagement helps this channel reach more people. Now, let's get to the transformation. This story begins with Marcus, a 32-year-old software engineer in Austin, Texas. Married with 2 kids, normal job, normal life, normal problems. But Marcus had one issue destroying him. He was weak, not just physically, but mentally fragile. He bought gym memberships 3 times and cancelled them all. He started diets every Monday and quit by Wednesday. He set alarms for 5 a.m. and hit snooze 7 times. Strong intentions, pathetically weak execution. The weakness extended beyond fitness. When challenges emerged at work, Marcus froze. When he needed difficult conversations with his wife, he postponed them. When his kids needed discipline, he deferred to his wife. Marcus was on autopilot, reacting to life instead of directing it. Then came the breaking point. Marcus had a panic attack in front of his boss during a critical presentation. His heart raced, hands drenched in sweat, the room spinning. He had to leave. The humiliation was crushing. He went to his doctor expecting serious illness. Tests came back normal. The diagnosis was stress, anxiety, and lack of mental fitness. But the doctor said something life-changing. Your body is responding to threats that don't exist because your mind hasn't been trained to distinguish danger from discomfort. You need to train your nervous system. Marcus went home and researched obsessively. How do you build authentic mental strength? That's when he discovered Miyamoto Musashi and learned that Musashi didn't write philosophy. He wrote a precise manual of warfare applicable to modern life. The first concept Marcus encountered seemed contradictory. Musashi wrote, "Have no preferences and do not depend on any particular weapon." How do you become strong without preferences? Then he read Musashi's brutal explanation. Your strength cannot depend on perfect conditions. If you can only train with the right equipment, you're weak. If you can only focus in silence, you're weak. True strength is executing at a high level under any condition. Musashi practiced with wooden swords, metal swords, 2 swords, 1 sword, no sword. He fought at dawn, midnight in blazing sun, pouring rain, freezing cold. Why? Because the enemy doesn't wait for you to be ready. Marcus realized he was the complete opposite. He could only be productive in his home office with his specific setup. He could only work out if he'd slept 8 hours. Every aspect of his discipline depended on external factors being perfect. So Marcus did what Musashi taught. He eliminated dependencies. He started with push-up training. No gym, no equipment, no schedule. Just body and floor. 20 push-ups every single day, regardless of anything. Week 1 felt easy. Week 2, his muscles screamed. Week 3, he traveled for work. Week 4, he caught the flu. This is where Marcus always quit before. But he remembered Musashi's principle. Practice must continue regardless of circumstances. Traveling? Push-ups in the hotel. Sick? 10 push-ups instead of 20. Exhausted? 5 minimum, but never 0. By day 40, Marcus did push-ups automatically, but his mind was chaotic. Constant anxiety about work, worry about finances, fear of disappointing his family. He was physically stronger, but mentally fragile. That's when Marcus encountered Musashi's most important concept, Ijoshin, the everyday mind. Musashi wrote something impossible. At the moment of battle, when someone's trying to kill you, your mind should be the same as when you're peacefully drinking tea. No excitement, no fear, just presence. How is that possible? Musashi's answer was simple. You train your mind not to react. You don't suppress fear. You become someone who doesn't need to react to fear. Marcus began testing this. Every time anxiety rose, in traffic, stressful meetings, arguments with his wife, he did one thing. He took a deep breath and observed the sensation without reacting. It was torture initially. His body wanted to scream, argue, flee, but he just watched. My heart is racing. My hands are sweating. Just observation, no reaction. The first time it worked was when his boss yelled at him in front of everyone. The old pattern would have been freezing and stuttering. This time, Marcus felt the fear rising, recognized it, and continued speaking normally. His voice didn't shake. He responded clearly. His boss was confused. The team was shocked. Marcus had accessed Hijoshin, the unmoved mind. But Musashi knew a calm mind without a capable body is an illusion. He wrote, "Train relentlessly to strengthen the body, because when the body is weak, the mind wavers." Marcus had done push-ups for 60 days, but hadn't tested his body under extreme conditions. So Marcus committed to something insane. 100 push-ups daily for 30 days, no matter how long it took. Day 1 took 45 minutes. Day 5, he could barely lift his arms. Day 10, his wife said he was overdoing it. Day 15, he completed them in 20 minutes. Day 30, 12 minutes without stopping. But what changed wasn't just his body, it was his mind. When you prove you can accomplish the impossible, You stop negotiating with difficulty. You just execute. Marcus was physically stronger and mentally calmer than ever. But Musashi had a third principle separating ordinary warriors from legends. Zanshin, the mind that remains. Being continuously present, perpetually aware, never disconnected. Musashi wrote about warriors who won duels, but let their guard down celebrating and were attacked. He said the battle doesn't end when the enemy falls. It ends when you're completely safe. Marcus realized he lived the opposite. He'd finish projects and relax entirely. He'd reach goals and stop training. He began practicing Zanshin everywhere. After push-ups, instead of collapsing, he'd stand for 30 seconds breathing mindfully. After meetings, instead of checking his phone, he'd sit quietly processing what occurred. Within 90 days, something transformed in Marcus. People at work commented constantly, "You seem completely different. Nothing phases you." His wife was direct. "What happened to you? You're like a different person." And she was right. But the real test came on day 105. Marcus was called into an emergency meeting. The company was implementing layoffs. He was being terminated. The old pattern would have triggered panic, heart racing, mind spiraling. But something different happened. He felt the shock, recognized it, then nothing. His mind didn't react. His body didn't activate fight or flight. He was simply present. "I understand. What's the timeline?" The boss was surprised by the calm. "You have 30 days. "I'm sorry, Marcus." "Okay, I appreciate you letting me know." Marcus left, returned to his desk, and continued working. His colleagues who were laid off were panicking, calling family crying. Paralyzed, Marcus was calm, not because he didn't care, but because he developed what Musashi called fudoshin, the immovable mind. Musashi wrote, "The tree stands quiet, not because of absence of wind, but because its roots run deep." Over the next 30 days, while everyone panicked, Marcus took action. He updated his resume, activated his network, went on interviews. By day 23, he had 3 job offers. He selected the best one, leaving his old company earning 40% more. His former colleagues who panicked were still unemployed 3 months later. 6 months into his journey, Marcus was unrecognizable. Physically stronger, mentally unbreakable, emotionally stable. But he had one barrier: fear that if he stopped one day, everything would collapse. That's when he encountered Musashi's ultimate concept: abandoning the self. Musashi's final words were, "I regret nothing. I fear nothing. I desire nothing." Musashi's answer was radical. You stop identifying with outcomes. You're not your successes or failures. You're simply the continuous practice. Marcus tested this extremely. He stopped counting days, celebrating milestones, posting progress. He removed all external validation. The training continued, but without ego, without needing recognition, without fearing loss. Because he understood, you cannot lose what you are. You can only lose what you have. A year after starting, Marcus was no longer the same person. He had systematically removed everything non-essential. He wasn't someone who tried to be disciplined. He was someone who couldn't be undisciplined. Practice wasn't something he did. It was who he was. This frightening level of mental and physical strength isn't for everyone. Not because it's impossible, but because it's deeply uncomfortable. Most people choose comfort over capability. but you're not most people. If you've watched this far, you've proven that. So, here's my challenge. What will you do with this information? Subscribe to Purpose and Presence Hub right now. Activate that notification bell and leave a like. Tell me in the comments, what's the first dependency you're eliminating and what weakness you're transforming? Remember, strength that makes others uncomfortable is the only strength worth developing. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.